Hi guys, it's Jess from Honest Fiction, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite holiday romances. Alright guys, so admittedly I don't read a ton of contemporary romances. However, because of some severe FOMO and also loving Hallmark movies, I do pick up a decent amount of holiday romances around December. So I have read quite a few and I've put together a list of my absolute favorites. And then towards the end of this video, I will also be talking about some of the holiday books that are on this year's TBR. So I'm really excited about this video and can't wait to chat all these books with you guys. Now, if you're unfamiliar with my channel, I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. You can also hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I post new bookish content. You can also check out my Instagram, Goodreads, and Patreon, all linked down below. With all that out of the way, let's talk about these holiday books. Before we dive into all of the holiday reads, I do want to give a shout out to NovelWicks. So Murphy was so incredibly sweet, the owner of NovelWicks, and she sent me some of her holiday candles, and I have to say, they smell amazing. So if you're unfamiliar with NovelWicks, they are a bookish candle company, and all of their wicks are wood wicks, so they make this very nice crackling sound as they're burning, and also all of the candles are topped with glitter, and they are some of the prettiest candles I've ever seen. So Murphy is always doing different sales. I believe she is going to be doing a Black Friday sale, but I think this video is probably going to come out after that. But always check her website. She drops new collections every Thursday or Friday. Pretty sure it's Thursday this year. But overall, one of my absolute favorite small businesses. So check her out if you haven't yet. And starting off, we have 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. So I read this last year after seeing a lot of my friends talking about it and really enjoying it. And overall, this was such a solid read and a little bit more emotional than I was expecting. So in the story, we are following Abby, and Abby has been dating the same guy for 4 years and has really tried to change herself to fit her boyfriend's version of an ideal girlfriend. So she is expecting to be proposed to any day now, and instead, her boyfriend ends up breaking up with her on Halloween. So Abby is completely distraught. She ends up getting drunk with one of her friends and comes up with an idea. She is going to get revenge on her now ex-boyfriend by dating his boss that he can't stand, and the story goes from there. So overall, I really enjoyed this. I think it shows a lot of us, like when I was younger, how we might change ourselves to try to fit what we think a person might like and how that never ends up working out in the end. And overall, this was just a fun holiday story. And next up, we have Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. This is also just a really fun, very spicy, very short read, but I had such a good time with this story. So Tessa Bailey is very hit or miss with me, but for some reason this one just really, really worked. We're following this girl, I'm pretty sure her name's Stella. It's been quite a while since I've read this. And she was, from what I remember, recently released from prison. And she really wants to decorate store windows. Like that is what her dream in life is to do, and she's very good at it. So one day she's staring at this window display that looks horrible, and she's thinking about how she can fix it when this guy who is wearing a bow tie asks her, hey, what would you change? So it turns out that he actually is in charge of like the window displays. So he hires her despite the fact that everyone is telling him that she's a ex-criminal, like maybe not a good idea. And he gives her a chance, and it's their romance. But what I love most is this guy, he's like kind of goofy, he wears bow ties, he's seen as very quiet, but then you get into the spicy scenes and he's like super dominant in the bedroom, and I was not expecting that. But overall, such a fun read and perfect for the holidays. And next up is probably my favorite holiday romance of all time. We have The Plight Before Christmas. So in this story, we are following a woman who is just having a very rough week. She recently has been broken up with. Also, her job is giving her a lot of problems. And her mom calls her and tells her that this year they're going to be celebrating Christmas at this isolated cabin. So when she gets there, it becomes even worse when her brother ends up bringing her ex-boyfriend to Christmas, who I believe is the brother's boss. So right away, no one really realizes that these two have a history, and our main character is just trying to survive and get through Christmas without having too many like awkward moments. And I really, really enjoyed this. Honestly, this is probably one, like I said, of my favorite holiday romances of all time. And if you read the Ravenhood series, there is a certain character that makes an appearance towards the end of this book. I highly recommend the audiobook. But overall, such a fun holiday romance. And this next book is a Hallmark movie in book form, so it is The Holiday Swap. And this is following two twins. So one of them is a celebrity chef, and the other one lives in her hometown, a mountain town, and I believe runs a bakery from what I remember. And anyway, the one twin that's a celebrity chef ends up being injured and loses her ability to taste and smell, which makes her job very difficult. So she ends up switching places with her sister in secret. And then while these two are switched, they end up in a romantic relationship with guys from each other's lives. But they don't realize that the sisters have switched. And I just thought this was really, really fun and cute. And like I said, exactly like a Hallmark movie. So while it wasn't super unique or standout, I still had a really good time with it. So highly recommend. And next up is a set of holiday novellas by Devney Perry. So it's the Holiday Brothers collection. So the first book is The Naughty, the Nice, and the Nanny, and that is single dad nanny romance. And then Three Bells, Two Beaux, and One Brother's Best Friend, which is a brother's best friend romance. And then the last one is A Partridge and a Pregnancy. So I actually have a vlog of me reading all three books, spoiler-free, so I'll leave that in the cards and the description. But I absolutely love Devney Perry's small town romances, so I knew I was gonna love these. From what I remember, the first one was my favorite, but that's because I absolutely love a single dad nanny romance. But they were all really good reads. So once again, highly recommend. And the last two books before I get into my holiday TBR are definitely on the spicier side. So we have 'Tis the Season for Revenge, which is a why choose holiday romance. We are following a girl that ends up getting snowed in with four men that she works with, and their fantasies come to life. So from what I remember, there's Alec, Jace, Reed, and I think Cole. And it's just a super, super spicy why choose time. So I do think this book gained a little bit too much hype. Like, I don't think it's quite as good as I thought it was gonna be based on how I was seeing it all over Bookstagram when I read it, but still a very fun and spicy read. And next up is Gifting Me to His Best Friend by Katee Robert. This is part of Katee Robert's Touch of Taboo series, which honestly is my favorite series by Katee Robert, and there's not much going on in those series other than like spice. I think they're actually considered erotica, but I love her characters and I love the different dynamics. So Gifting Me to His Best Friends is actually one of my favorites in that series. It's my second favorite. And we're following this married couple that end up going on vacation with the husband's best friend. And while they're there, they all realize that they all are kind of fantasizing about each other. So the husband goes to the wife and says, hey, what if just for this weekend, I gift you to my best friend, we can act out our fantasies, and then we'll go home and pretend like nothing happened. And overall, it was just really fun, really spicy, and I really enjoyed it. And moving into my holiday TBR, first up we have The Season of Secrets by QB Tyler. So I believe this is a holiday novella, and there is an audiobook available, and it's age gap and workplace romance. So we're following this girl that finds out that her boss might secretly have a bit of a crush on her, despite the fact that he seems very grumpy to everybody else, and he is over 20 years older than her, and completely off limits. She decides that she's gonna have a spontaneous fun night that turns into a weekend, and then I believe one of them isn't ready to like end the romance, and it really goes from there. But I love QB Tyler's age gap romances. I feel like she writes them like no other, so I know this is gonna be a 5-star. And next up is Big Nick Energy, and I own a physical copy of this book, and I just spent the last 20 minutes trying to find it. I have no idea where I put it. But anyway, if you're unfamiliar with Big Nick Energy, we are following this girl who I believe recently has been broken up with. So she ends up going on Tinder and she starts talking to this guy, and he invites her to his family's house for Thanksgiving because he doesn't want her and her daughters to be alone on the holiday post-divorce. So when they get there, the father of the guy that she met on Tinder starts talking to her daughters about Elf on the Shelf, to which she becomes very upset because she's like, I don't have time to do that. So the father takes it upon himself to actually set up Elf on the Shelf, I think every day, and it's their like age gap romance. So I apparently love reading age gap romances over the holidays. As I'm doing this TBR, I'm slowly realizing that, but I have a feeling I'm going to absolutely love this book. And this next book I've been seeing all over Bookstagram, and honestly, I added it to my TBR without having any idea what it was about, just because the cover is so stinking adorable. I just think it is so cute. So it is my December darling, and from what I've gathered from Goodreads, this is a reverse grumpy sunshine following a outgoing best man and then a very grumpy maid of honor, and it's their holiday romance. And once again, it is a novella, so it is pretty short, but I've just been seeing this everywhere, and I love reverse grumpy sunshine, which is really funny because I am not the biggest fan of like the actual grumpy sunshine trope, but when the girl is the grump, I don't know why, I just eat that up. So I am very excited to read it this holiday season. And last up is another book that I've been seeing absolutely everywhere, and the cover is so cute. So it is How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, and I believe this is following a guy that lives in a Christmas town, despite the fact that he absolutely detests everything that has to do with Christmas. And then a woman from his past named Story ends up moving in to take care of moving in next door in order to take care of her dying relative. And then she ends up entering this like Christmas contest, and he tries to beat her, and it's their romance. So it sounds really cute, and once again, the cover is just so adorable. So I really hope I end up enjoying this. All right, guys, those are some of my favorite holiday romances. Please let me know down in the comments below, what is your absolute favorite holiday read? And I'd like to say a special thank you to my Paladin protectors, Amanda, Erin, Lada, Leslie, Kat, and Jess. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. And I said this already, I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I will see you all next week. Bye.